Steelers Nation, you have no idea what almost went down behind the scenes during the draft. An unexpected conversation with the Cowboys, a secret move involving the Jaguars, and decisions that put names like George Pickens and Caleb Johnson directly in the spotlight. The front office kept things cool, but the truth is, the story could have gone very differently, and it doesn't stop there. A defensive piece from 2024 that many fans remember might be getting a second shot at the roster. Yep, there's a lot happening in Pittsburgh that few people are talking about, and you need to keep a close eye on it. So hit that like button and come with me. These updates are gonna stir things up. Man, the Pittsburgh Steelers were this close to pulling off a bold draft day move that could have shaken up their entire 2025 NFL draft and maybe even their future. Despite walking away with a haul that had fans and analysts tipping their caps, turns out things could have gone way differently behind the scenes. So here's the deal. The Steelers had one heck of a draft. They snagged value picks left and right, and folks are already saying some of these guys could have easily gone earlier. But while the front office played it cool during the actual event, there were whispers of something big bubbling under the surface, like possibly trading away their top wideout George Pickens, or even sliding back in the first round. Neither happened. In fact, the only move they actually made was sliding down a few spots in the 5th round. Nothing flashy. Still, the George Pickens chatter was real. The Dallas Cowboys reportedly called up Pittsburgh to feel out a trade, but the two sides couldn't see eye to eye. Another serious trade conversation happened with the Jacksonville Jaguars, who were holding the 102nd overall pick. According to Mike Silver from The Athletic, the Steelers tried to jump up to pick 83, hoping to strike a deal, but Jags GM James Gladstone wasn't buying. He's the youngest GM in the league and was navigating his first draft, trying to land both Wyatt Milam and Caleb Ransaw, two linemen he had his eye on. Pittsburgh's offer didn't hit the mark, so Gladstone pivoted and made a trade with the Vikings instead. So what did the Steelers do at 83? They stayed put and scooped up Caleb Johnson, a running back out of Iowa who had second-round buzz but somehow fell into Pittsburgh's lap. The guy was the offensive engine for Iowa over the past 2 years, and now he's gearing up to slowly take on a major role with the Steelers, maybe even as the future RB1. Now here's the twist. If that trade had gone through, Pittsburgh likely would have ended up with the 102nd pick, and there's no guarantee Johnson would have still been on the board 19 spots later. So yeah, holding firm at 83 might have been a quiet win. And while we're talking big moves, how about Jacksonville snatching Travis Hunter away from the Browns? Cleveland had the number 2 pick and were all set to draft the Heisman winner, a freak athlete who can dominate as both a corner and a receiver. But the Jags swung a major deal to steal that pick and keep Hunter out of the AFC North, which honestly might be a huge relief for every Steelers fan. Cleveland's loaded up on draft picks now, but if history tells us anything, well, let's just say Browns gonna Browns. So Steelers fans, do you think they did the right thing by keeping things as they were? Or should they have taken a chance? Drop a comment, and hold on, because this next update could surprise a lot of people. The Pittsburgh Steelers might just have a golden opportunity to circle back on a guy they've been watching for a while, and this time, the timing might finally be right. Remember Mark Perry? Yeah, the safety out of TCU who turned heads during the 2024 preseason, but ended up bouncing around practice squads. Well, he's back on the market, and the Steelers still have a few open spots on their 90-man off-season roster. If they were serious before, now's the time to pull the trigger. Let's rewind a bit. Pittsburgh's had some real success with undrafted guys. Jaylen Warren came out of nowhere and racked up over 1,000 all-purpose yards in 2023 while splitting snaps. And Beanie Bishop Jr.? He tied for 10th in the league in interceptions last year, only one behind veteran Dante Jackson. So yeah, they know how to find hidden gems. Perry was one of those potential steals. After slipping through the 2024 draft, he got a shot with the Texans, but turned down a practice squad spot. He later joined the Patriots and stuck around all year, even signing a futures deal. But after a new draft class and a wave of undrafted free agents, New England cleaned house and Perry got the axe. Now, he's available again. And with the Steelers cutting second-year DB Ryan Watts on Monday due to a devastating neck injury, they've suddenly got both a roster opening and a need in the secondary. A brutal break for Watts, who who showed real promise, but his absence could open the door for Perry to finally get the shot he missed last year. Let's be clear, Perry isn't a ball hawk. In 2 seasons at TCU, he racked up 142 tackles and 10 tackles for loss, but only 6 pass breakups and no interceptions. Still, the Steelers aren't necessarily looking for a playmaker at safety right now. They need a physical guy who can play in the box, rotate in on obvious rundowns, and maybe sneak onto special teams. That's the role Perry could thrive in. With only 88 players signed, including 1 international exemption, Pittsburgh's got 3 open slots. Even if they're saving one for a big move, hello veteran QB rumors, there's still room to bring in a guy like Perry. He might just be looking for a home, and Pittsburgh could be the perfect landing spot. Honestly, I understand the conservative approach from the front office, but I can't help but wonder what might have happened if they'd pulled the trigger on one of those deals. Sometimes playing it safe costs more in the long run. And about that potential addition to the defense, this isn't the time to pass up any opportunity, especially with the secondary looking so thin. If there's still potential there, it's worth a shot. Now we wait and see. And if you don't want to miss any breaking news about our Steelers, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications.